Sorry about that. I need to take a second, just commune with the Holy Spirit and ensure this is the story He wanted me to tell. But I guess it's got to be told sometime. Because it's my testimony. Alright, now I gotta quit being so serious. Alright, so, I grew up in a really small town out in kind of the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. About 20 minutes outside the city of Pittsburgh. And, north. Really nice school district. I lived in a trailer park. In a trailer my mom owned. And, we never really had a ton of money, but, we always made it. We had ups and downs like any family, I had a single mom trying to raise my sister and me by herself. It's a lot. I think that's a lot for anybody. Anyway, she used to work a lot, and so it was usually just me and my sister. And of course, my sister wanted to go hang out with her friends. She's 10 years older than me, by the way, so it's a little different. But, yeah. So, things were pretty normal for the most part. I used to kind of tag along with my sister everywhere, really, until I met this group of boys in my trailer park. Yeah. Justin and Jason. And there was a third boy as well. But he was more in my boat than... Anyway. So we used to hang out all the time. And, we started out normal, you know what I mean? Just doing normal stuff. Play video games. We'd go play in the woods, build camps and, shoot each other with BB guns and whatever. And then, this Jason and this Justin were kind of older. So Jason was 20, I believe. And then Justin was like 18. And they did some pretty awful stuff to me and the other kid that was there. And that went on from, I don't know, I guess, when did I meet him? Maybe I was probably 7 or something, 8 maybe, when we met. And like, whatever. But like, I always used to tell everybody it started when I was 5. I don't know why I would say that, but that's like what would come to my brain. But I'm just gonna say 7 or 8 just for the sake of it. Anyway, it went on until I was about 12 years old. And, I was told constantly by them that, these things that were happening were normal. And it made me gay. And because of that, and my religion that I grew up in, I would be going to hell. And my mom was very religious, and I knew that. We just started going to this new church, which is crazy because we were in the Catholic Church forever, and then all of a sudden that year, that was the Holy Spirit. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yep, he was protecting me. He was getting me out of there. He always seems to show up, when you don't even know you need him. Anyway, so this had been going on for a while, about, 5 years or more. And it was some pretty awful stuff. And I was always afraid to tell anybody because, I was ashamed of it, first off, but I was also told, you don't talk about that stuff. You don't tell people stuff like that, So I never did. Until one night, after I had gotten saved, which, I'll release a video on that here soon. I already started, that was when I was recording. When God kind of prompted me to stop and do this. So, I guess it's because it's the beginning of the story to why I even got saved. I have another one too. It's actually my mom's story, but so maybe I'll have her on here and she can help me tell it. Anyway, there was this one night. It was very shortly after I'd gotten saved. I'm 12 years old. I'm laying in my bed. And I could feel the which I didn't know at the time, by the way. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't realize, I don't think that it was the Holy Spirit, but I could feel the Holy Spirit on me and almost like convicting me in a way. For me to get up and go in and tell my mom that I was gay. So I did. I jumped up, I ran in, and I got right to the door of my mom's bedroom. And I stood there. And it was like I couldn't go in the room. I was scared. I didn't want to let her down, I didn't want to reveal this secret that I've been holding on to for ever. And so I just stood there, froze. And then the most profound thing that's ever happened to me happened. And as I'm standing there frozen, like a popsicle, I could feel the gentlest nudge on my back, right on the small of my back. And it was so gentle, but firm. And as soon as I felt it, I jumped and leaped from that doorway straight into my mom's bed and started bawling. And my mom's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And it took me a second to catch my breath, but as soon as I did, I finally had mustered up enough courage to say, "I think I'm gay. I'm sorry, I think I'm gay. And, my mom's response is, no, honey, you're not gay. You don't, no, you're not. You're not gay. You don't like me. And, of course, I'm like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. And she's like, why do you think you're gay? And then I told her. And, she grabbed me and, pulled me in tight and hugged me as hard as she could and told me she was sorry. That she'd wish she'd been there. You see, we get so busy in life, we miss so much. I know I'm guilty of that. Even though you're thinking you're doing the right thing because you're providing for the people you love. So it's important to have balance. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Sorry. So, as I'm kind of sitting there or whatever, my mom starts to pray over us. And I tell her about the hand on my back, and she can't believe it. And so, my mom went and went to the police, went and confronted the three boys really, parents, and let them know what was going on, and went to the school, and then sold her trailer that she just paid off and moved me 2 counties over because I told her that I couldn't do that. I couldn't keep going to school there. I couldn't keep living there. It was just too much for me. I was only 12. And she did. She sold it. And she took me there. And that is what shifted my life completely. Because that was when I finally started seeing God for how great He was. Once I felt that hand on my back, I knew He was with me. It's almost like I knew He had always been with me, guiding me, making sure I don't go too far out of line, making sure He gives me the right words, the right wisdom, and just making sure I'm safe. You see, God's not this abstract thing that I feel like everybody thinks He is. God is always what you need Him to be. Or what He thinks you need.